Greetings, Moonlight citizens. This is your Moonlight King here to let you know this episode of Moonlight Kingdom Reviews will cover The Walking Dead. No, not the used to be good show, but around season 8 turned into real crap TV series, but a 90s film with the likes of Eddie Griffin and Allen Payne set in the Vietnam War. And it'll be covered on this episode of Moonlight Kingdom Reviews in 3, 2, 1, boo. I love how Eddie Griffin kind of takes the Christopher Walken approach in his movies, where he's basically playing himself. If he was in this situation, like you don't, you never really get the idea that he's playing a character in his films as much as he is so much. This is Eddie Griffin if he was, I don't know, the manager at a freaking nightclub, not a manager of a nightclub, the owner of a nightclub in Malcolm and Eddie, or this is Eddie Griffin if he was undercover brother, or as this movie portrays it, this is Eddie Griffin if he was in Vietnam. You know, he's also like the dude and the cast in general feels more like a 90s movie that the character straight out of a 90s film that happened to be in a 70s movie. But hey, he essentially plays himself. He's just Eddie as a soldier. So the movie is basically this platoon of mostly black troops and this one white guy are dropped on this one bit of enemy territory, and they have to reunite with first platoon and to rescue some POWs. Right? Basic plan: drop the heroes on this, into this place. They in different spots. They reconvene some point in the jungle, and together they storm this POW camp. But the plan goes awry when the place they're supposed to land on is swarmed by the NVA. The guy who was leading them gets capped, and now it falls on the preacher guy, the reverend, to be the man in charge. He's the highest ranking officer and so on. So he's the one calling the shots for the time being. Hmm. It was oh yeah, what was it? So the movie, it's four. I think it's four black guys and one white guy. It's Reverend, it's Eddie Griffin, Alan Payne, and also wait, it's Pip, the one white dude, Reverend, the man in charge, Eddie Griffin, Alan Payne, and that one dude. Can't remember his name. Can't remember. I can't. I'm having trouble remembering his name, man. Like Brooks. Yeah, Brooks. That's the guy. Brooks, Eddie Griffin's character, Alan Payne's character, Reverend, and Pip, the one white dude. Yeah, that's this team, and they're the ones who are basically the main characters for the rest of the film. We get a really cool title drop. It like the earliest part of this movie when they think that their mission is a bit of a bust. Okay, Eddie Griffin is on the impression that this mission is a total wash because the guy who's supposed to be leading them, he's no longer of the living. They don't know where First Platoon is. Their radio is out, so and they were dropped in a hot LZ that was surrounded by enemy troops. You know, NVA could be anywhere, so he thinks it's a total bust. We should cancel this. And leads to an argument with the Reverend who's calling the shots, and Reverend is like, "I brought you back from the dead, so it's not your life, it's mine. So head out." And as they're heading out, like Eddie Griffin turns and is like, "Fucking walking!" Like he's like, "Damn, we're the fucking Walking Dead." Boom, title drop right there. Yeah, that was. I love when a title drop is worked into the dialogue instead of you clearly being like, they're just saying that to go get the movie's title in there somehow. They managed to naturally work it into the dialogue, kind of like Dune 2. Yeah. Or in the first Dune, where they naturally weave it into the dialogue to like drop the name of the story. Anyway, this movie is critical of the war as well as the draft and how like it takes people fresh out of high school, the draft favors people fresh out of high school, like Eddie Griffin, like in his character in this film says like it's done because not because the candidates are at their physical peak, but mainly because at that age they're not yet you know smart enough to know everything and are perfect for that kind of service. Their minds are not yet fully made. They're still malleable. They can be trained to do whatever. They're kind of the perfect candidates to be, for lack of a better term, brainwashed. And the film also showcases like the different reasons one may have for enlisting, as well as the different reactions someone could have to life as part of infantry of life fighting in Vietnam. And it's showcased in like these flashbacks to what like the members of the platoon were doing. So Alan Payne's character, he joined the military so that his wife and kid can get base housing. They live on the family members of like army guys those days lived on the base. They had like these houses like their family members could live in. See, he wanted that base housing because in the regular world, when he was working a regular job and whatever, he tried to buy a house in a neighborhood at they wouldn't let him on account of him being black, because this was still back in those days when you could willingly deny someone a loan or you know payment on a house. It wasn't like he didn't have money either. He did have money. He was like, for the way the movie rents it, he the way the movie presents his character, he did have the money to afford the house, and he wanted to buy the house in that neighborhood. Nice. It was a nice neighborhood. It was near a school district, all this and that. And the woman tried to come up with any excuse she could to deny him the loan, not the loan, deny him threats by the house. And then he just cut through all the crap and like, why don't you just be honest? Why don't you just say like you don't want to give it to us because we're black? Like you don't know me. Like you don't know me. You just see the color of my skin and immediately be like, you know, I can't give this guy a house, whatever. And he just like leaves. But I don't like what that scene. He like walks up to this one like after he gets mad and he like wants to storm out of the place. He walks up to the security guard and he calls him the N word. Like he's like, oh, you're like the houseboy basically. And I'm just thinking like, bro, he didn't say anything. He didn't do anything. He was just standing there. He just happened to be in your in your way out. You just happen to see him and you think like this dude sold out or something. He's just a guy with a job, man. He's just a guy working 9 to 5. Like if he had gotten up, he like walked over to you and was like, "It's time to go." Then you could say that. But he was just like some dude, man. It's not cool if he said shit like that. But anyway, moving on. Pip, the guy, Pip, the white guy, he was a gangster. And he was Bernie Mac was in this movie, by the way. He was a gangster who was working with his partner, who's played by Bernie Mac, to try and steal some money from these Hispanic gangsters, which ultimately, well, this was a robbery that got botched. Bernie Mac got taken out, and like Pip was on the run. And when he was running, he ran straight into the USMC recruiting office. Now, he in later in the film goes crazy and he like almost gets the group killed twice. First time when they find him, and like the second time, like he doesn't get someone killed, but the second time he actively like tries to bite, the Reverend's ear off. And it's clear that this dude is nuts later on because they look inside his pack and they find like worms and like ears and body parts and stuff. And it's like, okay, this dude has lost it. He has snapped, but the Reverend doesn't want to turn his back on him. And it's teased even in the flashback sequence that he's kind of nuts because, like, him and Bernie Mac, they were interrogating this woman to find out where the safe was that they were going to steal from this Hispanic group. And, like, so the woman wasn't cooperating, like, to the extent that they would like, so he just shot her in the head. And Bernie Mac was like, "What the hell's wrong with you, man?" It was like, she wasn't gonna tell us anyway. Besides, like, she looked at me, like I don't know. He was basically trying to say like she looked at me like a crap. Like, and Mac was like, and Bernie Mac was mad because like, man, now we'll never know. I mean, we'll never know whether she would have told us anyway. Like, you don't just pop somebody because you think, well, he's not gonna talk. You gotta like work them over, and then if you work them over and they don't respond, then you jump straight to it, man. Like, damn, whatever. 90s Bernie Mac he was a good looking dude, man. I'll say that much. He was a decent looking dude. And like, even though he's there for a few minutes, you remember that he was there because that was like, I don't know, whenever he showed up in a movie, whether it was House Party or How to Be a Player, like, or even Friday, when Bernie Mac was there, you remembered he was there. He could have like a bit part and you'll remember, like, wait a minute, Bernie Mac was in this movie. Holy crap. And it's always hilarious, man. He never, like, he was good enough. He's a great actor, but he never outshined the leads in the movies that he was in. In this movie, How to Be a Player, or there was that one he did with Jamie Foxx. Like he had like a few minutes in those movies, but he never outshone the leads. As funny as he was, like, yeah, he was the funniest guy in the room when he did show up, but he never made it so like, damn, like he never made the leads look bad. They always somehow came out of it looking good. But yeah. Ooh, moving on. The one guy, Eddie Griffin's character, was a meat packer in his flashback, and he was a bit of a ladies' man before. He yeah, he was working as a meat packer, and he got sold out by his buddy. He got sold out by his buddy because he took this piece of meat to a party. No, he took it without asking, and like his boss found out, and he told him like, it's not the meat, it's the fact that you stole it in the first place, man. Like I can't, if you'd have just asked me, I would have let you have it. But like the fact that you stole it means like I can't trust you. I can't have someone working for me if I can't trust them. So yeah, that was that. But with the thing that bothered him the most about this, and a big reason why he seemingly tries to push everyone away, and he doesn't want to learn anybody's name, is because like the last time he trusted somebody, it was the guy who stabbed him in the back, because he asked his boss, like after he fired him, like, wait, like boss, how did you know I was here, and B, how did you know the meat was gone? He said like, your friend Harold told me. Like, oh, and so he beat that guy up, and he went on to like join the military. I don't remember if he joined or he got drafted, but he was there. And he says, suck my nuts a lot. It's like his catchphrase, He doesn't like to make friends, In Nam, specifically in Vietnam, he doesn't like to make friends. Well, because of his experience with Harold, and because they might just end up dead the next day, you know. So you understand his character and like the arc that he goes through as he learns to trust the platoon he's with. And he even says in the movie that he doesn't he stays out for anybody but himself, because he would never screw himself. You know, though he goes through an arc later in the film that allows him to change that outlook to be a better guy. And Brooks joined because of a girl. In his flashback, his girlfriend Barbara Jean got asked out by some guy named Rudy Poo Koo. He calls Rudy Poo Koo, and she didn't say no. Right there, dude. So let me lay this out for you. If your girlfriend gets asked out by another dude and she doesn't say no, I have a boyfriend, dude, leave her. Like, for real. This woman is for the streets. She don't like you. If she gets asked out by some guy and entertains the idea and doesn't immediately tell him like, hey, I have a boyfriend, no thank you, that you gotta leave, man. You gotta get the hell out of this. She does not like you. Like, forget love. She does not like you, man. If she entertains the idea of going out with some other guy just because he asked, no. Oh, so like this is a dude who works as a hardware store, and this chick like, dude, like, so the Rudy Poo guy, he works at a hardware store, and he asked her out, and man, dude, she kept talking up this dude. She kept speaking up for the guy, like, yeah, he works at a hardware store, but damn, at least he has a job. Like you live in a basement, like you live in your parents' basement, and he was like, also, what's wrong with living? He like Brooks rightly points out, like, what's wrong with living in the basement, man? Like, his parents could rent this place out and get decent money, but I live here for free. Like, dude, yeah, I get it. It's a basement, but it's a really freaking nice basement. It's not a stereotypical cobwebs and dust, no lights. No, man, like the walls are painted blue. There's like some decent lighting, a nice bed, and it's practically a whole room. You wouldn't know it was a basement by looking at it if you didn't see the stairs leading up. You wouldn't even know this was a basement if you couldn't see the stairs. So what's wrong with this place? It's free room and board. Like, what kind of like, dude? Like, she's nagging on him like, oh yeah, this guy has job, and you don't seem to be going anywhere. Like, she's talking about this dude, and she's asking Brooks like whether or not he's gonna be something. And I'm just thinking, yo, there's the asking, man, like, are you gonna be something? What are you gonna do, man? Like, the guy asking me out has a job. Like, what do you got? And they're like, what the actual hell, lady? This is your boyfriend. What the hell? This gold digging, man, forget it. Ugh, right there, man. That was a big red flag. Right? He joined the Marines for her. He joined the Marines to impress her and like try to make some kind of life for her. Right? And this backfires horribly later. You'll find out. But right there, man, that was a big red flag, and he should have known that she was no good. Ah, yeah. Who's left? Oh, that's right. In the Reverend's flashback, the last flashback, arguably the most tragic. In the Reverend's flashback, he was just that, a reverend. Went to church, did sermons and all that. One day, he came home from work, and he found his wife, taking it from the rear from some dude. Unlike Tim Robbins in Nothing to Lose, he actually did something about it when he went downstairs, grabbed a revolver out of the drawer, and he, let's say he helped them finish. He helped them both finish with all the living. Yeah. So he got charged, The lawyer said it was a crime of passion, temporary insanity, all the legal mumbo jumbo, and he got away with it. I think the deal was he wouldn't go to jail, prompted that he go to the army. Like, I think there was a deal like, oh yeah, 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 crime of passion, whatever, whatever. You're remanded to military service or something. I don't know. I think that was what was happening. Or that he got off scot free and decided there was nothing for him, so he just sent himself into military service. But like, that's his backstory. And anyway, and it's like it's pretty good. But there's a moment in this story where like his friend lines up all the presidents on the back of coins, and he says, "Look," and he noticed that Abe Lincoln's coin is facing the right side, and all the other presidents are facing the left side. And it's like his friend comments, they turn their back on one of their own for freeing the slaves. Like make sure that doesn't happen to you. That kind of is what happened though. I mean, his congregation most definitely turned their back on him and all his teachings after he shot his wife because, you can't you can't go back to being a reverend. You can't exactly go back and preach the good book if you're convicted of committing a horrible crime like this. So yeah, that's his flashback, and we cut back to like the present day. The flashbacks really do a good job of like adding some level of levity to some moments and breaking up the scene. Like the movie really nails the '70s scenes with like the clothes, the music, and even the hairstyles of the characters in the flashbacks. Plus, the action in this movie isn't the biggest selling point, though there are some great set pieces between the platoon and the NVA, and they're fighting in the jungles, in the ruins, and the it really nailed like the idea like, well, these guys could be anywhere. They could be up in the trees, they could be hiding behind some rocks, or they could be traps set all over. It nailed that part. And the best parts of the movie are like the quiet moments where the characters are just talking amongst themselves. There's a lot of talking, like this movie isn't quite, it's not Saving Private Ryan, like it's not like where like there's this like it doesn't have like $100 million or whatever to give us this huge scene like Normandy landing or whatever, but it can have a few action scenes spaced out here and there with a lot of talking scenes, and those talking scenes are like the best scenes of the movie. Ah, so yeah, the best parts of the movie are the scenes where the characters do just talk about themselves. So as the movie goes on, after they find Pip, they tie him up, and they're taking him with him after he tried to take them out. They found out he'd lost his mind, but Reverend doesn't want to, leave him out here. He's a Marine, he's an American. We're gonna take care of him, whatever. So in the middle of the night, while Reverend and Alan Payne's character are off finding out where the POW camp is, Brooks and Eddie Griffin are just sitting there talking to themselves. And Brooks finds out that his girlfriend, the one who was infatuated with Rudy Pruku, she left him for that guy. And she, in the note, thing is, he joined for her, right? And she was impressed when he said he was joining. And in the letter, like, when she told him she's leaving, she calls him a warmonger. Like, what the hell? Oh, dude, that's freaking. I told you it would backfire. And then, so Brooks is like, man, you were right. Like your decision to like push everybody away, not get close to anyone here, it's so right, man. And Eddie Griffin sees right through this. He's like, oh nah, you're only saying that, like you want to be me tonight because tonight your name is Dear John, and Jody's got your girl and gone. Yeah, nobody's got a pink slip on the pussy. You're gonna regret not getting with her because she screwed you over in the worst way in your moment of truth when you needed her most. Like, damn, dude. He has this whole like speech about like how women love messing with men. I don't know what it is. Call it penis envy. Like just it's hilarious. It's misogynistic and a little sexist in some places, but it is hilarious. And in the context of Brooks's story, accurate. Yeah, and the two bond over this one Marvin Gaye song that Brooks liked, and it was playing in the background during his flashback scene. That this Marvin Gaye song heard it through the grapevine. Yeah, because the situation kind of, it's really fitting that that's the song that he remembers because it fits here. It's like, bet you wonder how I knew. Impromptu song about to go about your plans to make me blue. with some other guy you knew before. Between the two of us guys, you know I love you more. It took, and they both start singing together like, it took me by surprise, I must say, when I found out. And it's it's hilarious because it's broken up when like Reverend and Alan Payne's character walk up and they're like, "Yo, you two are crazy. Like just sitting and singing in the you're lucky you didn't get shot making all this noise." So Brooks tells him like, "Man, Baba Jean left me," and Reverend's like, "Good. You're too stupid to have a girlfriend." Oh man. This movie is not a comedy, but it's hilarious in places, man. Damn. Whew. And, after this little, singing session between him and Brooks, that's when Eddie Griffin decides, like, know what? Like, you and me, buddy, we're going to make it out of here. This is my man. This is my pal. I'm going to do whatever I can to get him out. He's actually, like, opening up and, like, he's just made a new friend and he's going to stick with him through thick and thin, no matter what. The movie's pretty, the movie, then, it gets dark. They discover the POW camp. It's empty. The POWs are all gone, and inside they find Pip with a hostage. Takes out he takes out the hostage, and Reverend he takes him out. After he does, like Brooks is kind of shocked. He's like, "Damn, man, you took out Pip," and then Reverend's like, "What do you think he was gonna do? Kiss him?" Like, for real, if you take Eddie Griffin out of this movie's not that funny anymore, man. Like, if you take Eddie Griffin out of the movie's not that fun either. Like, there's not a lot to enjoy about the movie that he's not a part of. So if you think about the movie, you take out a lot of the important scenes, but like there is this good scene in the moment after like Brooks is like, man, you took out Tiv, and Rev tells him like he has this amazing line where after he takes out Pip, he's like you are a killer, an assassin. Is like get this straight, man. Like you're a killer, you're an assassin, you're an executioner. By any other word, a marine. All right, like that's what we do. Don't get it twisted. Like that's what we do here. So he says to Brooks, the Lord doesn't give you what you want, he gives you what you need. The rest is up to you. Basically saying like the world doesn't owe you anything. You just gotta make do with what you got. That's what we got here. Like basically the theme of that's what he's trying to say about this whole mission. Yeah, we were dropped in a hot LZ. Yes, our platoon leader is gone. Yes, first platoon is gone. Yes, this place is empty, but we gotta do what we gotta do. Like we're not owed anything. We just gotta adapt. Like we just gotta take it as it goes, man. Like we're not owed anything. If stuff doesn't work out, that's not on any higher power. It's up to us to like do something about it and fix the situation. So yeah, the final firefight is a pretty tense one. As it gets to as they find out like, hey, there's a chopper coming to pick y'all up, and you got to get from here to there, and there's like a whole lot of dense jungle between here and there. So they hoof it, and it's a pretty tense fight because it's like you don't. It's this mad dash for the chopper that's generally tense, and like under siege music starts playing. Like I kid you not, man. Like I'm watching this movie, I'm listening to music, I'm like, wait a minute, this sounds vaguely familiar. What? Hey, wait a minute, this is music from Under Siege, like playing throughout here. Like, what the heck? What's going on here? Like, this movie and Under Siege have the same like action music playing through it. Like, whatever. Maybe it was scored by the same guy. Who knows? Either way, man, it's pretty good. It's used well. Brooks goes down, he's taken out, and like you can tell Eddie Griffin's character, like even though they were only friends for like a little bit, he did grow to care for him. Because when he goes down, it's like, no, damn it, and he like just guns down the dude's responsible. And when the groups get separated, he actually goes back to save the Reverend, and it's like it or not, I'm saving your ass. Now let's go. And despite the fact that they've been going at each other for the whole movie, they were seemingly at each other's throats. By the end of it, they learn to respect and care about one another as the plane takes them back to safety. The film ends with like this black and white slideshow that shows what everyone got up to after the movie. Reverend opened up a place to help, you know, lost boys, and you know, Eddie Griffin's character opened up a meat. He bought out the meatpacking place that he used to work for. Alan Payne's character continued to serve, and like up until he retired, it was a great ending for. It was kind of a great ending for all, and this movie was a pretty solid movie. I'd give it. Man, it's pretty rewatchable. It's got some rewatchable moments to it, and it's a severely underrated film as it is. The scenes there were plenty of scenes in it that made me laugh. Its opinions on the war, not like opinions, but like its view on the war and how it targets it, even as like, well, the characters have discussions like, well, what makes you think like they recruit in like the inner city, like they're the kind of people that it's basically the movie trying to say like these are the kind of people we want to recruit because they're malleable and they're not that educated enough. So it's like people we don't mind sacrificing. If they don't make it, they don't make it. But if they do, like we can train them as much as we can without, fear of, I don't know, fear of knowing that thing what is and isn't okay. Like we can train them to do whatever. If they don't make it, heck, we're not really missing anything. Like we haven't really lost anything. That's kind of like what's going on here. But like the movie overall, I'd say 7 out of 10 for me. I liked it. I would recommend it. I would rewatch it again. So yeah, that's my opinion on The Walking Dead. 1995's The Walking Dead, and yeah, this has been Moonlight Kingdom Reviews. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all them nice things, and I'll see you on the next one.